Feel the thunder, hear the crowd ignite. We own the back top, we own the fight. Tempers get hot when the rubber burns. A push to a shove, a lesson is learned. Fists might fly when the tension breaks. You do what you gotta, for goodness sakes. It's Sunday, blood, sweat, and glory. Highline racing, yeah, we ride the story. Feel the thunder, hear the crowd ignite. We on the back top, we on the fight. It's Sunday, blood, sweat, and glory. Highline racing, yeah, we ride the story. Feel the thunder, hear the crowd ignite. We on the back top, we on the fight. Tempers get hot when the rubber burns. A push to a shove, a lesson is learned. Fists might fly when the tension breaks. You do what you gotta, for goodness sakes. It's Sunday, blood, sweat, and glory. Highline racing, yeah, we ride the story. Feel the thunder, hear the crowd ignite. We on the back top, we on the fight. It's Sunday, blood, sweat, and glory. Highline racing, yeah, we ride the story. Feel the thunder, hear the crowd ignite. We on the back top, we on the fight. Tempers get hot when the rubber burns. A push to a shove, a lesson is learned. Fists might fly when the tension breaks. You do what you gotta, for goodness sakes. It's Sunday, blood, sweat, and glory. Highline racing, yeah, we ride the story. Feel the thunder, hear the crowd ignite. We on the back top, we on the fight. It's Sunday, blood, sweat, and glory. Highline racing, yeah, we ride the story.
Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. Losing is not even fun. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. Losing is not even fun.
Yo. Well, welcome back to the Highline Racing Network. We're in the GT3's right here on the Highline Racing Network in Talladega tonight. I'm Tommy Rogers, and I'll be your broadcaster. We're outside our comfort zone on this one, fellas. You know, I've only got a few races, and all of them were at Watkins Glen in a GT3. But we're running them right here at Talladega Friday night. Fast and Furious Friday night on the Highline. We got some stuff to get through, so we're going to hit it quick. But we wanted to show a little love as the Highline champion, Dark Horse's finest, Trevor Haley, right there out front with his teammate. Another outstanding driver, Brandon Showers, right there in the Napa Chevrolet, bouncing it around. You got Ryan Wilson and Zach Cato out here from AWR. Ryan Wilson there in the Mercedes. Let's see. Got some Highline drivers too. You got Eric Hayden and Jim Sagridu out here. Eric Hayden, it looks like he might be in a Corvette too. Timothy Tyler, the CEO of Dark Horse. SDK not registering him. Gonna have to get Trevor Haley to get him set up. Make sure he gets that name changed, but I'll do it manually here in a moment. But if you get that set right through SDK, it'll pull up automatically. Kyle Cameron, got to get Kyle Cameron set up as well. Not a big deal. We need to get over. We need to show all the guys that haven't seen episode 16 from the last episode following our season finale race and the crowning of our champion, Trevor Haley. We ran episode 16. Like I said, we do one after every show. So, or I should say, we do one after every race. And here's episode 16 if you haven't seen it.
Wow, season 1 is over. What a blast it was. But we have one more show before we take a break. Kick it off, Dan.
Oh yeah, girl, we are gonna kick this off right now. Controversy has overshadowed the last race. Haley won but was DQ'd and the fans are not having it.
We were cheated!
Lady, he went below the yellow and gained position over second place and then proceeded to wreck the leaders. Let's see stage 1.
LBS got stage 1 behind star driver Larkin Boyer. Let's check it out.
This here is going to take us to the final lap of the stage. Bryce Hinton and company just really far back there. As our leader, Nick Bauman, with 12 laps led. On the move, it looks like Larkin Boyer is trying to make a move. He's got his teammate Brandon Taylor in tow. It looks like he had a little bit of help, but they fell short, dropped back down. That's going to be detrimental. Nick Bauman coming through the tri-oval, gets turned. We're going to have to go back and see that one. Oh boy, as Larkin Boyer, it looks like it's going to take the stage. Larkin Boyer takes the stage after the wreck.
The outspoken LBS driver continues to prove he could be the one to take down DHR. Good stuff, Larkin. We got stage 2 coming up right after a quick break. Stage 2 had JBL's driver Bryce Hinton rocking a win, baby. Check it out.
And then we'll take it back and get a photo finish. It's Kyle Cameron there in the middle. Alex Leeball on the bottom. And Bryce Hinton there on the high side. Wow, we're going to have to go back and see. Bryce Hinton. Not sure. We're going to see that right now, though. We're going to go for the photo finish. Waiting for these guys to get there. We're going to stop it, switch angles, and take a look. As indeed, Alex Leeball was a lap down. Kyle Cameron is right there, but Bryce Hinton is going to take the stage. So good stuff on Bryce Hinton there in the 28 JBL car.
Great job, JBL and Bryce Hinton. TWRS is making an announcement.
All of us at TWRS are ecstatic to announce the signing of AWR's Zach Cato to a house driver contract. He will be a great ambassador to the brand.
I'm Shelley Goff from Channel 7, and I just want to know if you could elaborate some on what the AWR superstar is entitled to now that he is signed with TWRS as a house driver.
Wow, I love the accent, honey, and great question. He is entitled to the fastest and most stable setups on the market.
Dang, that's big news for TWRS and AWR. We are going to show the Stage 3 highlights right after these messages.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Brandon Bikey and the Wolf gave a good effort, but it was not enough. Let's see the highlight now of Nick Bauman of DHR winning Stage 3.
This here is going to take us 1 to go. Nick Bauman of Dark Horse leading the way for Stage 3. We typically only do 2 stages, but we figured, you know what, for the last race of the season, we'll go ahead, we'll do 3 stages. As Nick Bauman, with his teammate in tow right there, looks like he's kind of judging it as Brandon Bikey making a move. Brandon Bikey's making a move with Ryan Wilson, the Wolf, right behind him. Ryan Wilson giving him a good push. As we're coming up through turn 4, is it going to be enough? Is Brandon Bikey and Ryan Wilson going to be able to overtake as Nick Bauman is coming through? Brandon Bikey making his move, dropping down low. Not going to be enough. Not going to be enough as Nick Bauman takes the stage.
Any thoughts on pitting or staying out at all?
Trevor Haley right behind him.
Outstanding job, Twinkle Toes. You had an amazing season, and frankly, I am surprised you're not a house driver somewhere yourself. We got the controversial win, or should I say the loss, coming up. But first, if you want to support the show and the cause, pick up some gear from our new store. Take a look.
Gear up for the season with the latest Highline Racing Network merch. Check it out and shop now. Get your gear for real right here at this link or find it in the Discord channel. David Applegate takes the checkered in only his 2nd race of the season, and DHR fans say they refuse to honor it while others support the decision. You make the call.
As Nick Bauman's there on the high side, he's got the 88 of Brandon Taylor in the Project Alpha LDS car running. He's out there getting all the data on this one as he's all the way up. He's all the way up at P4 at the moment. His teammate way back in 16th. Looks like we might have had some guys getting into it back there. Watching now as Brandon Taylor dropping down low right behind Nick Bauman. Oh, Nelly. He's getting loose. Nick Bauman trying to make his move. He's getting wrecked. He's getting wrecked. Oh, they're going around. It looks like Trevor Haley has got it. Trevor Haley has got it. Oh, my goodness.
Unfortunately, it looks like Trevor dips below both double yellow lines coming through the tri-oval. So, as race control...
position.
Yes.
By causing him to crash.
Wreck the leader.
All right.
So we are looking at a disqualification of the 12 car.
Right here, as Nick Bauman is there on the high side. Trevor Haley is taking the bottom lane. Trevor Haley now has obtained the bottom lane. Nick Bauman comes down right in front of him, and it looks like he tries to check up and hit the 88 there, but it looks like the 88 cut him off, which looks like it threw him out of control, which allowed him to go below the yellow a little there, if that's what we're talking about. But I don't know for sure. We'll take it full speed. So here Trevor Haley is, got the run. 88 gets a bump below him. It looks like he tries to avoid hitting him, but in turn ends up causing a wreck.
Well, it was heartbreaking to see Haley stripped of his only win of the season, but as a result, David there in the 44 car is our winner. Let's hear from him now.
Man, I don't care about what DHR says. I can't stand those trash talkers. I'm glad they wrecked each other. We can make it a rivalry, or we can just fight.
Thanks for a great season, drivers, and a big shout out to our sponsors over at Pedley's Garage and at TWRS. Come join the hype for season 2. Later, boys.
All right, we're back. We are definitely back. Looking, let's see. We're going to bounce it around track for just a quick moment here. As we're on Kyle Cameron there in the 55. Man, I don't know these cars near as well as I do the standard. I do believe he's in he's in the BMW there. Taking a look at Zach Cato. Zach Cato's in the Ford Mustang. That thing's looking mean. Air Force across the door and the hood. Respect. Definitely respect the United States Air Force. And Zach Cato. Checking out Eric Hayden now. Out here in his vet. Didn't even put his famous number on from, you know, the whole Pedley's clan, man. Everybody knows you got to run 100 there. Brian Hebert out here in a Corvette. Brian Hebert of CNY Garage. I do believe he is by himself tonight. Let's see. Once again, in here by his lonesome. No Michael Jennings, no Sebastian Michaels, no Milibran, none of these guys. Jim Segredo, Eric Hayden. Yeah, they're basically team 2 of AWR that split into Highline. But, you know, only 2 of them. AWR currently with 3 in the race tonight. Easton Collins of, I think it's called Adirondack. That's what they call it. I'm not exactly sure. We'll call them ADM. Those guys are over here teaming up, not necessarily teaming up. They've got an alliance going with LBS. LBS has got at least, I think Joshua McKinney is in here tonight. Larkin Boyer might make it in. Bryce Hinton in the Nike. Bryce Hinton, a part of the Team Randoms, guys that run with us on a regular basis that we just throw together in a team of randoms. Looks like qualification is now beginning. So we're going to have to get a few things knocked out. First things first, we're going to show you an old clip of the fans, and then we're going straight into the national anthem. Get ready.
If that dark horse driver, Brandon Showers, pushes us off our line again, we are going to put him in the wall. Look here, Slim, we only push slow cars out of our way, so tell Darnell to hold the yellow line or Brandon is going under him, period. I ain't worried about that, dude. Let's go get my good luck pre-race meal. Corn dogs and funnel cakes. Whoop, whoop. Hold up, man. Why does this dude look like Gollum from the iRacing protest department? Talking about my precious replay file. If that ain't you, then, bruh, you have to be a real-life cornholio.
How are you guys?
Jim, do you really eat Toronto bread on pit stops?
I sure do. Every race.
Are you guys going to watch the race again on the Highline Racing Network?
We are here to see our favorite team and driver, Josh McKinney, get the win.
And if we wreck out Michael Jennings, even better!
Jerry is our champ and everyone else sucks.
Jerry! Jerry! Jerry!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we back. Qualification is just wrapping up now. It's looking like we might have Christian Rhodes in here. Christian Rhodes, he's an ally also with LBS, also big time driver in the Masters of the Draft series. Let's see, Timothy Tyler, like we said earlier, he's the CEO of Dark Horse Racing, linked up with champion winner, or such a championship winner, Trevor Haley, and his teammate there, Brandon Showers, Eric Hayden, and Jim Segredo. Logan Banks is starting to run with us more and more here frequently. We're probably going to end up moving him into the team of randoms before long. Currently tonight, we've got Brian Duncan, Jim Smith, and Bryce Hinton. It looks like qualification is over. We're getting ready to start gridding up. All right. Starting in row 1, Slightly Dangerous is Christian Rhodes and Indy 1 Sheardon Wade. In row 2, Jeff Hedges, then Kyle Cameron. Kyle Cameron of AWR, the captain. In row 3, Graham Garber and Logan Banks. In row 4, Bryce Hinton and Stephen Powers. In row 5, Brandon Showers of Dark Horse and Larkin Boyer. Larkin Boyer of LBS making it in the right here at the end. Row 6, his teammate Joshua McKinney and Joe Nordine. In row 7, Brian Duncan of VRX and Highline's Eric Hayden. In row 8, David Harbottle and Bryson Black. Row 9, Brian Ebert of CNY and Richard Raymond. In row 10, The Voice, Jim Sagridu and Trevor Haley. In row 11, Timothy Tyler and Ryan Wilson, the Wolf. There in that slick 8, looks like a slick Mercedes. Not too many guys electing to go Mercedes. William George and Corey Young in row 12. In row 13, Matt Brown. Did not see Matt Brown sneak in. And, of course, Zach Cato. Row 14, Barry Sessoms and Brian Barrow. For row 15, Easton Collins of ADM and Jim Smith. And that is going to wrap it up. As we've got this race getting ready to go live with the green flag drop. This is going to be something else tonight, I got to tell you. As Christian Rhodes and Sheardon Wade going to lead us off. As time goes along, you know, we see the different logos on cars. You know, we predominantly run NASCAR. And so most of these drivers, I know, you know, just looking at their cars, their paint schemes, etc., I know usually who they are. But tonight, first time running the GT3's, a lot of these guys really don't have, you know, their custom touch on a lot of these cars. You know, they don't have their teams, their sponsors, etc. You know, we didn't give these guys too much time as we decided to go this route. But I got to tell you, I'm excited, man. So just be patient with us. We're going to have a little bit of a hard time trying to find some of the guys from time to time, but it shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't be too bad. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fast and furious right here on the High Line. As Christian Rhodes bringing it into the Pedley start garage. I mean the start zone. And the green flag is out, and we are off. Christian Rhodes there on the bottom, Sheardon Wade on the top. Like Sheardon Wade making a little bit of ground after the start, but now Christian Rhodes starting to pull away there on the bottom. Seeing one white car moving up high right there, almost taking the nose off of another guy. I thought we were going to see our first wreck in the first lap. I'm going to remind each and every one of you guys that we are not going to have any stages tonight. If there is a big wreck, the admin team may decide to throw the caution within the first 3 laps. If not, they're running 20 lap increments, and at those points when those cautions come out, each car will be afforded the opportunity to get those laps back. They also have 3 fast repairs to help keep that car fixed in the event they get in the big one. Looking Looking like we got a few cars there in the back as the pack is starting to... It's like the mid-pack starting to lose about 6 cars, maybe 4 out of the back. We're going to get eyes on those guys here. We're going to bounce it around a little bit as we got eyes on Jim Sagridu there in the 21. Looking like Ryan Wilson, Zach Cato, Easton Collins, Corey Young, all of these guys back here, to include Brian Barrow. They're the back 4. It looks like they're starting to gain a little bit on that mid-pack. Sheridan Wade now up front as Christian Rhodes is dropped back to P4. Kyle Cameron in the mix. Kyle Cameron there in the 55. We're definitely going to have to do some onboard cams tonight. Really want to see how it looks in a lot of these cars. So we're going to jump into P7. And we're going to hop into the cockpit of Dark Horse's Brandon Showers. We're currently on board with Brandon Showers as he's running in P7. Looks like a decent draft there on the high side over the top. As Kyle Cameron is now transitioned into the lead. We're going to have to keep our eyes on this because things are really changing up here. As now Bryce Hinton in P2. Sheridan Wade and Christian Rhodes, who started on the front row, now making a push to the outside, working together. But Bryce Hinton not hesitating there in the Nike Jordan car, jumping up front. Kyle Cameron still in the front. Oh, we see Sheridan Wade and Bryce Hinton starting to touch. They have recovered. They did save. But the 54 of Sheridan Wade looking like he's having a tough time holding his position as we're getting an indication of a wreck. Graham Garber involved as well as Jim Sagridu. So we're going to go back and see that really quick. A lot of guys, it looks like, ended up off the track. But we're going to go back and see what actually occurred, at least with Garber and Sagridu. We're going to have to take this back a little bit further because it looks like the whole back end of this car is missing at the moment. Several cars involved in this. Wow. We're going to take it full speed at first. Look like the 15 got turned around first. I'm going to take it back one more time. We'll watch this one from Jim Sagridu's perspective. And then we're going to have to get back live. Full speed from Jim Sagridu's perspective. not a whole lot of room, not a whole lot of time to react there as we're going back live. The captain, Kyle Cameron, still out front. Larkin Boyer of LBS right behind him. They're in the 22. Brandon Showers, Bryce Hinton, and Jeff Hedges. Jeff Hedges there in the Evo car. Coming in P5 at the moment with LBS's Josh McKinney and company back in P6. Looks like we've got an indication of an Eric Hayden crash now. We're going to go and try to see that. We've got eyes here first on Matt Brown. Eric Hayden. Got eyes on Eric Hayden at the moment. They're in the 2. Just getting pushed, it looks like, and turned. Wow. Definitely was not centered on Eric Hayden there when he was turned. That could be a little suspicious. We'll keep an eye on it. But we're going back live. As we're up here with Brandon Showers now. Kyle Cameron really doing well tonight. Might very well be our lap leader. We're going to go in there, crank it up, let you guys check that out for a moment. All right, I'm back with you. Kyle Cameron still holding strong. We're now up to lap 11. Remind you, caution will come out at lap 20. Got some indications of Ryan Wilson going off track. David Harbottle as well. Looks like they've recovered, showing back on track as we're going to bounce around. Ho! Right in time to catch Ryan Wilson going into the wall, so we're going to take it back. It looks like he did not save his. Wow, looks like a bad bump right behind the 23. Might have kicked him in and spun both of those guys. All right, we've got it back on the leader at the moment. Gonna get it around, move around just a little bit here, see some of these other guys. Matt Brown there in the 25. Christian Rhodes. Got 25 on his door, but in the 31. Oh, I apologize. Christian Rhodes is actually in the 31. The car in the 25. There's Matt Brown. Trying to figure out who that is in front. It looks like it's Barry Sessoms. Leaders are currently on lap 14, taking it to 15. Trevor Haley way back. Trevor Haley way back in P20 at the moment. Logan Banks here in the Pokemon car. Got Brian Hebert on screen now. Jim Sagrito with Eric Hayden right behind him. We're going back on board with the leaders. Currently here with Kyle Cameron, looking at lap leaders. Kyle Cameron, 11 laps led. Christian Rhodes with 2, next closest. Christian Rhodes now dropped back all the way to P11. Our biggest gainers on the evening. Barry Sessoms. Barry Sessoms in P9, up 18 spots. Easton Collins doing well, up 16. We probably should get eyes on Easton Collins. Easton Collins there in the 63 ADM. With his spotter, Aiden. They call him the Ostrich. They're trying to work through. This is one of their first times in these cars as well. We've got them lined up. Kyle Cameron, Larkin Boyer, Brandon Showers, and Bryce Hinton. Taking a look at this, Larkin Boyer's, he knows the AWR guys well. So maybe he's willing to work with Kyle here. Brandon Showers also cool with both of these guys, so it's Bryce Hinton just the same. None of these guys are on the same team. They're all on different teams, yet they're all right here in the top 4. Really interesting to see how this is going to pan out. Kyle Cameron coming through the back stretch now as they are starting to make moves here. Brandon Showers there on the high side with Bryce Hinton as Brandon Showers' nose is out in front. 3 wide. Oh, it looks like they're selling out the leader, Kyle Cameron, being sold out. All 3 cars jumping him. He's going to be forced to fall in. He is definitely going to be forced to fall in behind Larkin Boyer there to maintain pace. It's cars definitely do not draft that like that of a NASCAR. So it's going to be difficult to try to get any kind of, you know, big run. Probably only going to be picking up 5-6 miles per hour. At max. But it does look like Larkin Boyer is trying to set himself up for an attempt to pass. Kyle Cameron locked on. As here they go. They're coming through the tri-oval now. Bringing us to lap 20 now. Not going to throw the caution. I think we have 20 laps from when we went back green after the initial caution after the big wreck. I do believe.
Yellow.
There it is.
So what you got going on out there, bud?
I see. They're doing it in turn 4 so that they don't have to go all the way around to catch the pace car. As you can see, pace car is already out. All right, guys. Well, Brandon Showers, Bryce Hinton, Larkin Boyer, Kyle Cameron, and Jeff Hedges are top 5 as we coming to this competition caution here with Joshua McKinney, Barry Sessom, Stephen Powers, Christian Rhodes of Slightly Dangerous, Zach Cato of AWR rounding out the top 10. As we get ready to see these guys get into the pits here shortly. Quite a few cars going around at the moment, getting those laps back like we mentioned at the beginning of the race, that everybody that goes laps down will be afforded the opportunity to get as many laps as they go down back while we're under caution. We're going to see these guys start going down pit road. All right, looking like a pretty decent pit stop for all of these guys. No incidents. I mean, we are under caution. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at the chat, see if there's anybody giving shout outs, anybody that's watching the race that wants us to shed some light, wants us to get some camera time on these guys that are out here racing. Throw their names out, throw a shout out in the chat. We'll make sure we get them as soon as we go back green. But we're going to head over to a quick commercial. And then we'll be right back with you.
Before every race, I make sure my lug nuts are tight and my breakfast is tighter. Lug Nut Cereal Pride, breakfast at high speed. People always ask what makes me so fast on the track. Talent, skill? Nope, Lug Nut Cereal. It's the only breakfast built like racing tires because champions don't eat flakes, we eat lug nuts. Get yours at stores near you. This is what keeps me going after getting turned on the last lap.
If the plan doesn't work, change the plan, but never the goal.
working, hear the engines roar. Got my crew behind me, taking over the floor. While the haters hate, I'm on the set.
All right, we are back with you. As we're going to take a look at our pit stop stats here. Bryce Hinton. Looks like he had to get some things repaired. A lot of guys having to have some stuff taken care of while they were in the pits there. Looking at our lap leaders. Lap leaders going to Kyle Cameron with 14 laps led. Brandon Showers of Dark Horse next closest with 3. Our biggest gainers though, Barry Sessoms in P5. Definitely going to get some eyes on Barry Sessoms here. That is outstanding work, up 22 spots. Barry Sessoms there in the Porsche in the 505. Squad up. He's got on the hood. Joshua McKinney. Joshua McKinney teamed up with Larkin Boyer, allies with ADM's Easton Collins, as well as Christian Rhodes of Slightly Dangerous. But Bryce Hinton and Brandon Showers going to be taking us back green, as Bryce Hinton is entering into the Pedley's Garage start zone right here on the Highline Racing Network, taking us green at 24.
Green flag.
And we're out. So we'll be going green at 24. We'll be looking at lap 44 for the stage, or for the next caution. We got several guys going around right there. Brandon Showers, our P2 finisher, turned there. We're gonna give it a moment. We're gonna go back and see what happened, as we've got another car. Looks like it looks like Tyler Gothard, potentially Logan Banks, David Harbottle. Several guys getting involved. We definitely seen it look like Logan Banks into the wall. Pack is holding strong now. We're going to keep our eyes on this for a few more laps before we go back and take a look at what happened with our front row driver of Brandon Showers. Bryce Hinton there in the Nike 28, bringing it up high. Linking up with Larkin Boyer there in the 22. That's definitely going to be a tough team to battle with, especially if Bryce Hinton is willing to work with Larkin, and Larkin just the same. Well, while we're here, we're going to go ahead and jump back and see what occurred with Brandon Showers. Brandon Showers there on the high side. Comes down across the nose. It looks like they're of possibly Kyle Cameron. We're going to take that back and go full speed. That's definitely Kyle Cameron that he came down across the nose of. And we're going full speed. Kyle Cameron suffering there as well. A really big mistake from a driver that doesn't make too many. Brandon Shower is a dark horse driver. He's a dark horse for that reason. He's a top-notch driver. Bryce Hinton, though, Larkin Boyer, Christian Rose, Jeff Hedges, and Joshua McKinney now our top 5. Joshua McKinney there in the Red Bull Oracle 16 car. We're going to bounce it around and get some eyes on some of these drivers while we have an opportunity here. Richard Raymond here in the GT3 Corvette Z06. Brian Barrow in the Z06 as well. Timothy Tyler following suit right there in the Chevy as well. Trevor Haley not really showing his dominance in this car, running up in the front like he normally does in the NASCAR series. Zachary Cato moving up though, now in 8th spot after starting in 26th spot position. Getting an indication from the spotter of the ADM driver in the 63 saying how they narrowly missed a crash. Looks like with David Harbottle. We're going to go back and see what occurred with David Harbottle and Richard Raymond. Taking it back. The whole back end of that car is destroyed. Wow. It's like 2 cars significantly damaged in that. David Harbottle and Richard Raymond. As we're back live, Zachary Cato now moved all the way up to P3. Zach Cato right behind Bryce Hinton. Bryce Hinton, though, jumping up to the top. Zach Cato there on the bottom. Bryce Hinton up top now with Joshua McKinney. Joshua McKinney and Larkin Boyer teamed up, both LBS drivers. On the high side at the moment, behind Bryce Hinton, as Bryce Hinton is navigating the field, playing the bottom and the top. But oh boy, Joshua McKinney and LBS's Larkin Boyer make their move. And just like that, Bryce Hinton has nobody in his rearview mirror. He's just begging for somebody to come. And just like that, we see Zach Cato. He says, yes, sir, I'm going to make this move. I'll definitely work with Bryce Hinton. Bryce Hinton of JBL. taking a look at the chat, reminding everybody, man, if you've got somebody you want to give a shout out to, you want us to show some love, you want us to show them on the big screen, we're gonna do it. Just throw them out. We definitely got the spotter from the ADM 63 of Easton Collins. He's giving a lot of feedback in the chat. We're definitely gonna pull up Easton Collins and show love there. But trying to catch a little bit of this battle up front as JBL's Bryce Hinton has got AWR's Zach Cato right behind him, trying to see if these guys are going to be able to make a move to overtake the bottom line of LBS and Christian Rhodes of Slightly Dangerous. At the moment, it's proven to be very difficult as the duo up top is not being able to maintain. They need more help, and they're not getting it. Easton Collins back here currently in 14th after starting 29th, so he's definitely making, big moves at the moment, and I love the car. I love his Corvette. It is definitely beautiful. The only thing that would make it better is if it had some Highline logos. Man, you got to let him know, Aiden. Got to get those Highline logos on them cars. This is going to be really, really difficult as we've got Larkin Boyer and his teammate Joshua McKinney up front. Two LBS drivers that always prove individually that they're a force to be, to really contend with our top drivers. And now, anytime they're teamed up, if they're both in the same race together, as soon as they link up, it's hard. It's really hard for anybody to contend with them. Just as it is, multiple AWR drivers, Dark Horse, CNY, a lot of these guys, once they get teamed up, sometimes you got to break them apart, cut underneath them, do whatever you got to do to separate those guys at times. Looking like they're separated there. It looks like either trying to get air or just got a little bit loose. But both of these guys electing to run the Ford Mustang. And we're going to hit the crank it up. All right. Get a lot of requests at times for people wanting to get a little bit of time under the crank it up. A lot of guys enjoy the camera angles. They enjoy the sound, the cars coming by. And I got to tell you, that Ford Mustang sounds amazing. We're going to go on board with Larkin Boyer. Larkin Boyer here in that Ford Mustang GT, pushing his teammate of Joshua McKinney, both of LBS Racing. We're watching as these two guys are locked on. Got eyes here on Brian Hubbard in the 87, as well as Ryan Wilson. Ryan Wilson currently in 16th, but probably is going to need to link up with the 7. Brian Barrow. Brian Barrow currently in 12th. Trevor Haley making his way into the top 10, up 10 spots. Bryce Hinton and Zach Cato dropping back to 6 and 7, but it looking like they're planning to make a move. Man, if they could get, you know, some of these other AWR or Highline guys up in the front, like Eric Hayden, Jim Segredo, get Kyle Cameron back up there, we're going to have a dogfight. But several of these guys laps down right now as we see them passing Jim Segredo and company. As these guys are coming to lap 40. Joshua McKinney, Larkin Boyer, Christian Rhodes, Bryce Hinton, and Bryson Black at the moment. Our top 5 as these two guys just transitioned. We're in the cockpit now with Bryson Black, as he's currently in P6. We're going to take a look at this from the gyro perspective as well. Like he had a big run there, but nowhere to go. Had to check up. Ryan Wilson back here. Nobody in front as the leaders are probably going to lap him. Wow, this Chevrolet, this GT3's Z06 sounds amazing at the moment. Larkin Boyer now in the lead. I do not know what happened. We've got to know what happened to Joshua McKinney, because Joshua McKinney has gone off track. We're going to try to go back and check what happened to him once the caution comes out. That's his teammate Larkin Boyer, though, running up front. Christian Rhodes in the Porsche right behind him. Larkin Boyer now overtaken by Bryce Hinton. As this is going to take us to lap 44. If my memory serves me right, we'll be looking at the caution coming out as these guys come out of turn 4 right now. Is Ryan Wilson gonna be able to not get lapped here? I don't know, it's close. I think he might make it.
Caution.
And the caution is out. So he does indeed make it. Ryan Wilson, who's already 1 lap down, very well could have gone 2 laps down there, but it just was saved. All right, guys. Well, we're looking at our leader as Bryce Hinton, Larkin Boyer, Christian Rhodes, Bryson Black, and Barry Sessoms, our top 5. We want to go back and see what happened with Joshua McKinney. So there's Joshua McKinney on the high side. We're in half speed at the moment. We're going to take it full speed right here. He's running both lanes. Now he gets up in front of Bryce Hinton and shot down into the wall. Back up. Wow, that was a lot more than what we were anticipating. So we're going to take that back and watch it one more time. This time we're going to go chase. All right. Yes, it looks like just had a bad bump from Bryce Hinton. Wasn't able to hold it. And yeah, we're definitely going to need an ambulance out there to check on Joshua McKinney. As we're back live. A lot of these guys coming down pit road. All right, well, while we're under caution, we are going to get back linked up with the leader, Brian Barrow, who has elected to stay out. And we're going to go to a quick iRacing commercial.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Gear up for the season with the latest Highline Racing Network merch. Check it out and shop now. Get your gear for real right here at this link or find it in the Discord channel.
All right, we had a request in the chat regarding William George. We got eyes on William George now. Checking him out in his 777 Red Bull car. And we're getting back linked up with our leader, Brian Barrow. Like I said, Brian Barrow electing to stay out, taking position with Bryce Hinton, Christian Rhodes, Larkin Boyer, Barry Sessoms, Jeff Hedges, Stephen Powers, Eric Hayden, Trevor Haley, and Brian Duncan. Brian Duncan, our right here in the top 10. Brian Duncan out of VRX running with us tonight. Ryan Wilson of Angry Wise Racing of AWR right behind it. The captain right there behind his driver of Ryan Wilson. Matt Brown doesn't have any help tonight as SMT's Evan Perry nowhere to be seen. All right, as we're coming through turn 4 now. Looks like we'll be going green at 48. Right here on Fast and Furious Friday on the High Line. So we'll be looking at lap 68, turn 4 for the next caution. As Brian Barrow pulling into the Pedley's garage start zone.
Green flag.
And the green flag is out. Brian Barrow with an excellent start. Bryce hitting Christian Rhodes, Larkin Boyer, and Jeff Hedges, our top 5 now. Bryce Hinton and Christian Rhodes, to my knowledge, these guys don't know each other very well. Both outstanding drivers. Bryce Hinton runs in the Highline League, and Christian Rhodes in the MOTD. Christian Rhodes and Bryce Hinton door to door at the moment. Christian Rhodes now leading this thing. Got an indication of Logan Banks crashed. We'll try to get back and take a look at it. Timothy Tyler also potentially involved. We're going to go back and take a look at Logan Banks. Logan Banks just getting turned there. And then backs into another car passing by. Definitely not intentional, but wow. Taking a look at, looking for some of the drivers, looking at chat as well. Got some guys wanting to see Joshua McKinney in the chat. Joshua McKinney right here. Easton Collins a little ways back, as Easton Collins is here currently in 18th. We're going to go into the cockpit of the ADM driver. Currently, he's doing 181 miles an hour. Now eyes on Kyle Cameron. It looks like Kyle Cameron is working with Matt Brown of SMT at the moment. Not exactly sure Zach Cato currently a lap down as he's coming back out on track. Trevor Haley not moving up near as quick as he normally does in a NASCAR series, but he's up to P5 now. Christian Rhodes back in first after winning the pole tonight. Christian Rhodes working his laps. You know, right now he's up to 7 laps led behind Joshua McKinney at 10, Bryce Hinton 12, and Kyle Cameron at 14. Kyle Cameron, though, all the way back in P9. Biggest gainers thus far, Barry Sessums, up 20 spots now in P7. We're going to pull up the tower here for a little while. Anybody that's in the chat, we would love to hear if you guys like the when the tower is out versus the ticker that goes across the top. Love to hear what your thoughts are there. We're going to have to go on board here eventually with Christian Rhodes, kind of see what that Corvette sounds like. I do apologize, the Porsche. And we are on board now with Christian Rhodes, our leader. I don't think I like the sound of this car. Notable drivers, Trevor Haley now in P4. Bryce Hinton back in P6. Brian Duncan making moves up to 13. Ryan Wilson, the Wolf, currently in 20th. Like Zach Cato was involved in a previous crash, as well as Richard Raymond a little while back. We're going to go back and see what happened with Zach Cato. Zach Cato there on the high side. Oh, just looks like he came down across the nose of another car. I'm not exactly sure who that was. We're going to take it one more time. Full speed. Oh no, oh no. I had it wrong. That car came right up into that left quarter panel of Zach Cato. That was definitely not Zach Cato's fault there. We're back with the leaders. Christian Rhodes now with 12 laps led. Larkin Boyer of LBS right behind him. Stephen Powers in the top 5 now in P3. Some eyes there on Stephen Powers. There in the 20 Red Bull. And Dark Horse's finest Trevor Haley currently in 4th. With Barry Sessoms in P5. Looking like Brian Hebbard off the pace again by himself on the lead lap, but probably needs to link up with the 30 car, the 30 that's right behind him. Looks like Bryson Black is who he needs to link up with so they can gain that additional 5-6 miles per hour. Bryson Black, they're flashing those lights. Back with the leader, Christian Rhodes of Slightly Dangerous. These guys up front, rather content. I do not think Larkin Boyer is gonna sell out Christian Rhodes. These guys are known allies running together. ADM's number 63 of Easton Collins. Probably not seeing him in the chat with LBS, but he probably should be, so he can communicate. He's another ally. It's like Corey Young has his car has retired. Kyle Cameron here in 8th. Matt Brown right behind him. Eric Hayden and Josh McKinney. Whoa, and Eric Hayden is going around. We saw it live. And the whole back end of that car is destroyed. That's going to be another fast repair for the Highline driver there. Yeah, we're hearing from in the chat, the 63's spotter says that he goes in and communicates with those guys. The 63 should probably be in that chat with them if he's trying to work with them. No requirements to do so, but it'll make it a lot easier for the driver. And we're going to hit crank it up, that you guys enjoy a little bit of that. I'm back with you. We still got the crank it up cams pulled up. We love them as much as you guys do. Christian Rhodes still out front. Christian Rhodes, Larkin Boyer, Stephen Powers, Trevor Haley, and Bryce Hinton. Our top 5 at the moment. It's like Bryce Hinton falling off the pace a little bit. I think under this next caution, we're going to pull up a driver, kind of get their take on how the race is going. At 68, turn 4, the caution, I do believe, will be coming out now.
Caution, caution,
And
caution.
just like that, there it is.
Kind of talk me through what's going on again.
All right, we're going to take a look. Let's see what we got going on right now. See who we got. I think we're going to pull in our leader, Christian Rhodes. So we're going to pull up Christian Rhodes. Christian Rhodes, you're in the booth. You got comms.
I got comms. What's going on, Tommy?
All right, so we got the slightly dangerous driver in here leading the pack. You know, we want to get your take on the race. You know, this is our first time running a GT3 race, specifically as a broadcast, I should say, and at a super speedway. But, you know, we wanted to get, you know, your take on it as you're the leader tonight and kind of get, you know, what you think about it all.
These cars are fun. They kind of remind me a little bit of IndyCar with way more drag. You have to take the momentum when you got it. Definitely the inside is the preferred lane. But if you got a couple guys to go with you, you can make some passes happen, but you need those guys to stay with you. So it's all about momentum and having some dancing partners.
I hear that, man, because we're watching, you know, a lot of these guys are falling off, you know, the pace, and they're not wrecking. They're just falling off pace. They're losing draft. You know, at the end of the day, they're probably going to have to keep it tight. Some of these guys might need to start managing, keeping the throttle down and just playing with the brake as opposed to lifting as much. I'm not sure if that will help, but it very could. It might. What do you think?
100%. If you're letting off the gas at all, you're going to lose your momentum, and you're going to lose the entire draft. So you have to drag that brake. There's no way that you can just let off the gas and not keep your momentum. You're going to lose the entire pack. And so that's what you see happening is guys lifting, and they're losing the pack. So you got to drag the brake when you're behind someone so you don't run over them, but at the same time, you don't lose your momentum.
I got you, man. Sorry that we got you in here as you're pitting. We appreciate you stopping by, giving us some driver take, and then we're going to get you moved back down to the LBS and Allies.
I appreciate it, boss. Have a good broadcast. Thank you for what you do.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you shortly.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that was our leader, Christian Rhodes. Looks like Christian Rhodes lost a few spots. Brian Duncan of VRX now out front. Brian Duncan also in a U.S. Air Force car tonight. But Jeff Hedges there in the Porsche out front. Taking a look at our pit stop info here. It's looking like Jeff Hedges elected to go with 2 tires. Trevor Haley went with 4. Larkin Boyer as well. Brian Duncan, he was in the pits a little bit longer, it looks like, just outside of that, but had a good jump out of the pits. But most guys electing to go with 4 tires here, looking to see how it's going to affect Jeff Hedges going forward. All right, we're going to bounce it around. Lights are still on. We never went over this earlier, but we're going to kind of go over it now. You know, that green flag caught up to us pretty quick. But I am curious to see what was Pedley's keys to success tonight. You know, especially with us coming up on about 25 to go. Pedley's keys to success in these GT3 cars says, number one, master the draft. Stay locked in the pack. GT3 cars are loose. Massive speed alone. Smooth bumping only. No sudden moves. So what they're saying here is, he's saying, don't go through and just slam into cars. These ain't stock cars. Control the air. Dirty air will wreck your balance. Be patient on the throttle and keep the car stable, especially in that tight traffic. Avoid the big one. You know, goes without saying, you know, hit the brake. You know, just saving that fast repair goes a long way, even if you do lose the draft. Time your move. Don't lead too early. Set up your run. Strike late. Ideally coming out of turn 4 on that final lap. You know, as you know, we start to approach lap 100. We appreciate the keys to success from our sponsors at Pedley's Garage. Going back green, we're going to have Jeff Hedges, Trevor Haley, all the way up now to P2. He was all the way in the back there for so long. Now here he is, our champion, up in P2. Christian Rhodes, Larkin Boyer, and Bryce Hinton rounding out the top 5. As pace car is in, we are going green. As they're entering into the Pedley's Garage start zone as we speak.
Green.
Green flag is out, and Jeff Hedges is off with an outstanding start there in the Porsche. Outstanding start by the 111. Is Larkin Boyer now behind him with Trevor Haley in P3. Trying to get some analysis on Jeff Hedges. He's a top-notch A-class driver that is known to finish more often than not in the top 10, according to our analysis. Trevor Haley right behind him. Christian Rhodes, P4 now. Like Larkin Boyer trying to make a move there on the high side. There in the 22, the Ford Mustang. Like Christian Rhodes coming up behind him, linking up. Bryce Hinton, I do believe, is with him as well. Indeed, Bryce Hinton in the 28. Bryce Hinton, one of the few. I think we've only got 3 Ferraris on track tonight. Him, Logan Banks, and Graham Garber. We'll get eyes on now. Graham Garber currently in 14th after starting the race in 5th. But Larkin Boyer and Jeff Hedges door to door at the moment. It's really, really going to be tough to try to clear all three of those drivers there on the high side. Really makes me wonder what's going to happen there. Is Larkin Boyer and Christian Rhodes going to get out in front of Jeff Hedges and drop to the bottom? Or are they going to stick it out with Bryce Hinton? Somebody that's always up front. Somebody that is not affiliated with any other team members. Lone JBL driver that runs in the high line. What are they going to do? Oh, and just like that, Larkin Boyer to the bottom. Now Christian Rhodes is probably going to drop, but oh my goodness, Jeff Hedges. They get into the back end of Jeff Hedges and he goes around. Not exactly sure what happened with Jeff Hedges there, how he got turned so easily. We're going to keep it on the leaders as Christian Rhodes back out in front. Christian Rhodes, now our leader by far at 23 laps led. Our previous leader was Kyle Cameron. Kyle Cameron in 17th as we're getting an indication of David Harbottle has crashed. We're going to go back and see what occurred with David Harbottle. Wow, just got pushed. It's very easy for cars to get into the back of these and turn them. Taking a look at the field. Looks like Ryan Wilson may have retired. Just in time to see one of the cars get into the wall. Over here on Zach Cato at the moment, currently in P11. Matt Brown, P6 at the moment. Stephen Powers and Trevor Haley out in front of him. Larkin Boyer falling off of the leaders as Christian Rhodes and Bryce Hinton locked up and flying around the track at the moment. He's definitely not going to be able to keep up with them at the moment. We got an indication of a Logan Banks crash as well. Christian Rhodes simply dominating the race tonight. Bryce Hinton content with the push of Christian Rhodes at the moment. These guys are pushing up on a 3-second lead over the guys behind. In the cockpit here with Bryce Hinton. Just locked on to the Porsche of our leader, Christian Rhodes. Looks like these guys are holding it very well. Taking a look at our fastest five, our 5-lap averages, Christian Rhodes, Bryce Hinton, Logan Banks, Matt Brown, and Kyle Cameron are our top 5 in that category. Biggest gainers on the night, Easton Collins of ADM in P6 now. Definitely going to get eyes on our man, Easton Collins, currently the hard charger. And the guys that have had to get the most damage, Joe Nordy, Eric Hayden, Logan Banks, Jim, Zach Cato, quite a few. But those are some of the guys that had to get the most taken care of tonight. Now looking at Easton Collins back here, is Easton Collins currently in P6. Easton Collins needing to hold it. He's drifting too high. He needs to get down lower, making it really hard for Joshua McKinney to be able to work with the 63 when he's moving like that. Bryce Hinton and company still gaining on the rest of the pack as they're now even closer to that 3-second mark. We should be seeing the caution flag coming out here soon. Rhodes, Hinton, Boyer, Brown, Cameron, Black, Collins, McKinney, Cato, and Haley, our top 10. Two of the guys that have been very, very tough all night, along with Bryce Hinton. Kyle Cameron really started out strong with a good 14 laps led. Then got involved in some things, fell back, worked his way back up into P5. It's Kyle Cameron there, AWR's captain. Easton Collins now dropped back to P10. He's going to definitely have to keep his foot on the gas, full throttle. And he's going to have to learn how to manipulate his speed with the brake so that he doesn't lose all the RPMs by lifting off of the throttle. So it looks like he's losing draft. Brian Duncan definitely off the pace. Zach Cato in P8, right there with Josh McKinney and Trevor Haley behind. definitely more to this race than the draft that you're typically, the bump draft that you're typically accustomed to seeing. There's much more at play here as the different cars draft different, etc. They're going to have a harder time. They're going to have a harder time gaining spots as they're not able to draft near as well. Even more so with the side draft. As Christian Rhodes and Bryce Hinton bringing us into turn 4 on lap 87. Taking this down to 13 to go will be Christian Rhodes. They're holding about the same distance over the pack at this point. Just shy of the 3-second mark. It's looking like the second pack back. Looks like these guys not really gaining, especially probably fighting a little bit of the side draft. You know, it's not as near as significant, but they're definitely not gaining here with this larger pack as they're battling with Josh McKinney and Trevor Haley and Zach Cato. Looks like these guys are doing all they can to make the move. Just not quite getting there. As we're now down to 12 laps to go. Christian Rhodes now having led 35 laps here in the GT3 cars in Talladega for our Fast and Furious Friday on the Highline Racing Network. Easton Collins making moves as he's now pushing up into P3. Oh, we got a wreck. We got another wreck as Zach Cato is involved. Josh McKinney's involved. We're going to go back and see what occurred here with these guys. Whoa, looks like the blue Mustang might have got into him there. Quarter speed right here. Ford Mustang comes up, way up, hitting Zach Cato first, and then also Josh McKinney. We're going back live. We're going to get eyes on ten laps to go. Bryson Black was the car that came up and took out both Zach Cato and Joshua McKinney. Christian Rhodes and Bryce Hinton still out front, still dominating the race. Looks like Larkin Boyer and Kyle Cameron did make up a little bit of ground on them, but not a lot. It looks like it took that. As soon as those guys stopped having that side draft, these guys have gained a little bit of speed. The caution is now out, as these guys have come out of turn 4, lap 92. We want to remind everyone, if you're interested in getting any kind of Highline Racing Network merch, we got tons of different colors. I mean, you can really go in depth on all these different colors. We got hoodies, we got hats, we got tank tops and shirts. Check it out, man. The link, you can get to it right through the merch store channel in the Discord, and you can write it down, come back and watch the broadcast later and pause it, because I'll throw up the little commercial right here.
Gear up for the season with the latest Highline Racing Network merch. Check it out and shop now. Get your gear for real right here at this link, or find it in the Discord channel.
All right, we're back with you. Yeah, so definitely if you're interested in getting anything, it helps support the show. Plus you get a cool, because we get a slight kickback. So big shout out to Brandon Screen Printing for making all that happen, getting that store set up, helping the cause. Now taking a look at these guys coming around. Looks like maybe a few of the guys trying to trick a few guys, if you will. All right, looking our fastest 5: Bryce Hinton, Larkin Boyer, Kyle Cameron, Brandon Showers, and Bryson Black. Twelve lead changes tonight. Looks like Zach Cato has potentially had to retire. Pace car's lights still on, so we're going to be going by one more time. Now that we are this close to the end of the race, any wrecks, the caution will come out. With Christian Rhodes, Bryce Hinton, Larkin Boyer, Kyle Cameron, Bryson Black, our top 5. Trevor Haley, Easton Collins, Stephen Powers, Graham Garber, and Brian Duncan rounding out the top 10. Man, a lot of you guys need to get your pictures You get your pictures uploaded onto SDK. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. Could even do a group photo with Easton Collins and his spotter, Aiden, so everybody can see Easton and Aiden, the team. Really interested to see. I do believe more than likely Christian Rhodes, the way things have, well, I take that back. I was going to say I think maybe Christian Rhodes will drift up high and stay latched on with Bryce Hinton. But his ally, who he is in a chat with right now, Larkin Boyer, is right behind him. Their teammate, looking for Joshua McKinney. Joshua McKinney back in 14th. As we're coming out of turn 4 now. The pace truck is in. Christian Rhodes is approaching the Pedley's Garage start zone now. Bryce Hinton there on the high side. As the green flag is out. What is Christian Rhodes going to do? Is he going to stay with his ally, or is he going to move to work with Bryce Hinton? We shall see. At the moment, Larkin Boyer there. Bryce Hinton able to drop down, now P3. This close to the end of the race, if there's no cautions, it's going to be really tough for anybody to overthrow the duo up front now of Christian Rhodes with his ally Larkin Boyer. Bryce Hinton, Bryson Black, Kyle Cameron potentially could make a move. A lot of guys that have been leading the race have been sold out by the entire line several times throughout the course of this race. Is it going to happen now with Christian Rhodes out front? Christian Rhodes almost getting turned there by Larkin Boyer. Looks like potentially Kyle Cameron looking to go on the outside. Kyle Cameron now on the outside. He wants to make a move, but nobody's going with him. Trevor Haley may be trying to work there with him. Trevor Haley and Stephen Powers. But at the moment, we're coming to 98 with Christian Rhodes still out front. Christian Rhodes now having led 44 laps. Christian Rhodes currently in first. It's looking like we might see a white flag here. I do believe it'll be next time by. If we hold it together here, we're going to see the white flag. Larkin Boyer, Bryce Hinton. Right there locked on with the leader of Christian Rhodes as Bryson Black and Kyle Cameron. Kyle Cameron there on the high side. Kyle Cameron's linked back up with Bryson.
You will have a caution, caution, caution.
Oh, and
Guys,
the caution is out.
rags and clean this mess up here. Coming into the box is the part that I'm mainly concerned about.
Looks like we did indeed have a wreck of some sort. We're going to go back and see what occurred. Whoa, just like that, Matt Brown. Looks like Matt Brown was possibly turned by Brian Duncan there. We're going to take it back and see it from another angle. Quarter speed. That is Brian Duncan right behind Matt Brown at the moment. Looks like he's moving him. Yep, just gets into him on the inside there, probably with some worn out tires maybe. Not exactly sure. Just turns him ever so easily there. And then gets into two more cars that looks like they save it. They definitely suffered a little bit of damage. One going into the wall. We'll go back and take it full speed right here. And we're going back live. A whole group of guys trying to fake some guys out regarding going into the pits, maybe get some tires, fuel, what have you. These guys should have plenty of fuel tonight. Trying to see Eric Hayden and Jim Segredo. Jim Segredo back in 21st. Eric Hayden now P12. Zach Cato 16th. Ryan Wilson 23. I do believe Ryan Wilson like Ryan Wilson might be retired at the moment.
Going green, going green.
Got Eric Hayden in the chat with us now. What you got going on, Eric?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go green here. Just going to let you know there.
All right. Well, we'll
Yep,
get it.
all right, man. We'll see you here in a little bit.
Yes, sir. Lights are out on the pace car. Looks like they've elected to reduce the pace laps here as we're going back green. Appreciate Eric Hayden stepping in and letting us know what race control is making moves. Is this going to be the last time, though, here on the Fast and Furious Friday night on the High Line? Pace truck is in. Things are mixed up a little bit now with Larkin Boyer on the high side. Christian Rhodes there on the bottom. Bryce Hinton as well on the bottom.
Green flag.
And the green flag is out with Bryce Hinton losing a little bit of momentum there as Christian Rhodes out to a big jump, allowing for Larkin Boyer, allies of Christian Rhodes, to come down. Christian Rhodes, Larkin Boyer there on the bottom with ease. Looks like Bryce Hinton. Looks like Bryce Hinton and Kyle Cameron trying to make a move. They're on the high side. Just like that, Bryce Hinton sees it, jumps up top, might have even blocked a little, as it looked like they had a little bit more of a run. It's not as prominent though in these cars as it is in the Gen 6s and the next gen. And the white flag is out. These guys are on the backstretch. What's going to happen here? They're all moving all around. A lot of touching, a lot of bumping as they're coming through the tri-oval. Kyle Cameron right there on the high side. Christian Rhodes still got it. Still got it. Christian Rhodes still has it, but Kyle Cameron's right there with him. They're going around. And it's over. And it's over. Christian Rhodes has got it. Christian Rhodes of Slightly Dangerous has got it. Kyle Cameron in P2. Yes, indeed. We're going to take that back and see the checkered one more time. Might be able to get a photo finish here. Not exactly sure what occurred back there with a lot of guys wrecking. We're going to go back and see it from a couple of different angles, but we're going to see real quick here at quarter speed with the blimp out. We're going to try to get a photo finish. Quite a few cars back there in 5th, 6th, 7th, all involved in that. Photo finish. There we got a good shot of Kyle Cameron and Bryce Hinton. But the money shot, Christian Rhodes pulling the wins. Kyle Cameron really battled there to get close. We're going to go back and take a look at the Larkin Boyer, and quite a few other people crashed there. Take that back. And we're going to go full speed. Just really rough there, and he gets all out of sorts as Larkin Boyer goes around. And we are back live here watching Christian Rhodes. As he's burning it down. We are going to get an interview on Christian Rhodes here shortly. But first, we're going to pull up the race results. All right, looking at P1, Christian Rhodes. P2, Kyle Cameron, Bryce Hinton of JBL. And P3, our hard charger tonight, Easton Collins. Most laps led, of course, Christian Rhodes there with 50. Fastest lap as well for Christian Rhodes at a 52.286. And our pole setter. So an outstanding night for Christian Rhodes. Really raking it in. Well, taking a look outside, though, we got Bryson Black, Brian Duncan, Stephen Powers Easton Collins of ADM pulling in the top 10. Yes, sir. Eric Hayden of Highline pulling in 8th. Dark Horse is Trevor Haley 9th, and LBS is Josh McKinney 10th. And let's see. Looks like Jim Sagridu 21st, Brian Hubbard, Ryan Wilson back to 24th. A lot of laps down for some of these guys. They got wrecked out early, unfortunately. All right, well. We are going to see if we can't pull up Kyle Cameron and Bryce Hinton. So we got Bryce Hinton here. Seeing who else. It looks like we will not have Kyle Cameron to interview tonight. But we do have Bryce Hinton. And we do have Christian Rhodes. So we're bringing in P3 finisher first and foremost. Bryce Hinton, you're in the booth. You got comms.
Hey, Tommy, sure do.
Hey, man, great race tonight. You know, you battled up front all night. You know, you made a podium. You got P3. You know, first and foremost, congratulations there. But, you know, as the race progressed, you know, what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was fun. I haven't raced these cars here since the update, and they've changed quite a bit. Back the last time I raced them, it was kind of just everybody would be at a standstill 3 wide, and nothing would really happen. But they were much more dynamic this time. So you know, to some extent, you had to stay in a line just to protect the fact that you would lose the pack. But if you had somebody behind you and they were willing to go with you, you could make something happen. And they were surprisingly easy to push as long as you found the right car to do it with. Early in the race, we all kind of determined that certain cars don't work well with other ones, and other ones work really well with some. So by the end, we kind of figured it out. We did our dress rehearsals, and we put on what we could at the final lap, and it turned out the way it did. Christian had a great race. We had a really good run. Bump drafted in the 3rd stage, I think it was. So I was happy to see him get the win. It was fun.
Indeed. I don't know if you know Christian Rhodes all that much, do you?
No, I think I've seen his name a couple times, but we've never really interacted that much.
I got you. So Christian Rhodes is, he runs in the MOTD league that all of the Highline guys and AWR, all of which they also run in. And he runs in that league. He's one of the top guys as well. And every now and then he comes down and he runs with us. And tonight he came in and pulled out the win in the GT3. So it was impressive to see you guys working together. It was almost as if you guys have known each other for a while. You know, I was watching in the booth because I know Christian Rhodes is Slightly Dangerous, but Slightly Dangerous is really close with LBS. So we knew that him and Larkin were going to be trying to work together, and you were in the mix. And I don't know if you knew that, but
No.
we were watching it. Every time the caution would come out, we would say, oh no, it's going to push you up top and Larkin is going to fall right behind Christian. And we seen it happen, I think, twice there towards the end. And, you know, it proved vital for Christian, but Larkin ended up in a big wreck there at the end. And Kyle Cameron sneaks into P2.
Yeah, Kyle did a great job during that race too. Yeah, I know we weren't working together. I was solo trying to get in where I could, but you know, the guys that have experience, whether it be a Gen 7, Gen 6 trucks, doesn't matter what it is, you know how to run this track and you know how the game goes. So we all kind of seemed like we were on the same page. So that was a lot of fun to do that.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I think I'll get you moved back down, and but first I'll let you give a shout out. And once again, congrats on the podium finish tonight for the Fast and Furious Friday on the Highline. And floor is yours, sir.
Yes, sir. Shout out to you guys, the admins, and you, Tommy, for putting on the race and broadcasting. Once again, a great run. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll talk to you, Bryce, and look forward to racing with you here again soon.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Well, it looks like we had Christian Rhodes available, but Christian Rhodes is no longer available to talk, so we are going to have to skip that. And it looks like we're going to be wrapping up the broadcast here. So once again, big shout outs to Christian Rhodes, Kyle Cameron, and Bryce Hinton on podium finishes tonight. And an outstanding overall race, of course, by Christian as he led most laps, fastest lap, and took the pole. Hey, guys, it was great here on a Friday night, and we look forward to doing this again. You know, more than likely we'll be running more of the NASCAR stuff going forward, as you know, but we wanted to do something a little bit different tonight, mix it up, you know, have a little fun, see what else, you know, is out there, and I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. We'll catch you again next time right here on the Highline Racing Network.
Please don't leave. See y'all next week.
Yeah, I'm in the veins, feeling like a dark horse. Nothing can contain me. I'm here to pause. Every race I'm taking, you know what I leave a coast. Counting all the wins, it's me they love the most. Watch me wiggle, watch me jiggle.